Hi students, once again I'm very happy to welcome you all for this video session. Today's class is the continuation of the previous class, theoretical concepts of operating system. So in this class you are going to learn security management, fault tolerance, file management, multiprocessing, time sharing, distributed operating system and prominent operating systems. These are all the things you are going to learn from today's class. Okay. So first, security management. So what is security? Someone who helps us to protect from unknown persons. Those persons may be called as security. For example, in our school gate, two securities will be there. What is their work? Their work is to not allow unauthorized or unknown persons into our school premises. That is what security. In the same way, to protect the data from the unauthorized persons, we have to use some security systems. It may be password, something like that, or firewall, something like that. That is what known as here security. In this modern world, the major challenge is to protect the data, the legitimate data, to protect the legitimate data from the unauthorized person. For that, we have to use security. The security may be a software. By using a software, we can give some security to our files and folder. If you are using Android mobile phone, it would be very clear because app locker is there. App locker is the best example of security management system. In the same way, for our PC, for our personal computer, we can use this security management also. This security management has been used by three different types. One is file access level, second one is system level, the third one is network level. So I already explained you, security management is nothing. It is giving a password to our files and folders, to our data. In this modern world, the major challenge is in this field, in the computer field and the software industry, is to protect the legitimate data from the hackers, because in this world so many hackers are there. The hackers can hack your data without your knowledge, without your intervention, without your knowledge from your personal computer. So that we have to use some security management to our data, to our system. The security management has been used by three different ways. One is file access level, second one is system level, the third one is network level. So in order to use, in order to access the files created by the people, you should have access permission. While creating a file, you have to give some access permission. Who are the persons have to or can have access your folder? That may be designed by yourself. Okay. System level is nothing. It is offered by the password in a multi-user environment. If two children are there in their in a single home, they can create different user name and password, different username and password for their purpose, for their usage. That is what system level. File access level, it is nothing but if you are using or if you are creating a file for your personal use, for that file or folder you can give some protection, you can give some password from the unauthorized persons. If you are giving password or security to that particular files and folder, the hackers can't hack your files and folder from your system. The third one, network security. The third one is network security. It is indefinable one. The network level security management is indefinable one, because around the world many of the people are searching for this one. Because if you are using mobile phone, it could be understandable for your knowledge. Initially, when you're going to buy a new mobile phone, for your mobile hotspot, they can fix a security from unauthorized person. That is the best example for network level security. Afterwards, if you want to change the mobile hotspot password, that is also possible by yourself. Nowadays, the Windows, Linux, Unix, all the operating systems are giving security management to the user. So this is what known as security management of file access level, system level and network level. File access level is nothing but it is giving a protection of password by the user who are creating the files and folder. The creator or the user can give the password and security to the files and folder. System level is also created by the user. If too many usages are there in a single home for a single CPU or for a single computer, different users name, different passwords can be created by the persons. Network level is also, I have explained you, from the unauthorized persons. For the Wi-Fi we can give some security or password, and this is what known as security management. So next one is fault tolerance. Fault tolerance, that is nothing but if some power failure or something was happened within the system, the operating system should be robust. It never failure. The operating system never crash, never failure. Instead of crashing the operating system, or instead of failing the operating system, it should be restarted from the initial stage itself. That is what fault tolerance. It tolerates all the things. If sudden power cut maybe happen, the operating system never crashed, or some important file never crashed from the operating system. Instead of that, it will restart from the initial stage itself. That is what known as here fault tolerance. It will retain the existing step or existing state of the system. That is what known as fault tolerance. So next one is file management. It is an important function of OS which handles the data storage techniques. All the type of data, it may be image, video, audio, text, whatever it may be, we can store into the system. That is also that is what known as file. This is called as file management. We are able to arrange the files and folders within the operating system in order to some specific levels. The operating system manages the files and folders directory systems on the computer. Any type of data can be stored into the computer. The data may be any type. The any type, it is nothing but it may be a letter format, it may be image format, it may be a video format, whatever it is. These are all known as file. The file can be stored into the system. User can create, manage and rename, delete, whatever it may be within the system as a file. So the file may be managed in two types. One is FAT, another one is NTFS. One is known as FAT, the next one is NTFS. FAT is nothing but file allocation table. By this algorithm only, the system is managing the files and folders. File allocation table. The next one is NTFS. NTFS is nothing but next generation file system. And ext2. ext2 is for specially designed for Linux. NTFS and FAT is for Windows. Okay, so FAT is nothing but file allocation table, and NTFS is nothing but next generation file system. By these two algorithms, by these two methods, we are able to manage our files and folders. Okay, so the file manager, within the file management system, the file manager of the operating system helps you to create, edit, copy, allocate memory to the files and folders, and also update the FAT also. This is what known as file management. So next one is multi-processing. This is one of the feature of operating system. It has two or more processors for a single running process. Process is known as job. It is nothing but job. For a single job, if a system has more than two, if the system has two or more than two processes for a single running job, that is what known as multi-processing. Processing takes the place, which means the jobs takes the place in a parallel, is known as parallel processing. Parallel means one by one. It is known as parallel processing. Each processor works on different parts of the same task. Each processor, because the system has multi processors, each processor works on different parts of the same task or on two or more different tasks, because they are able to give one job or more than one job onto the system. If you are giving more than one job onto the system, the multi processes can work on multi tasks or a single task on the same or different places. That is what known as here multi processing. So next one is time sharing. This is one of the most important feature of operating system. It allows execution of multiple tasks or processes concurrently. You are able to work on different works concurrently. Concurrently means at the same time you are able to work with the different jobs. While typing, you can hear music. This is what the best example of time sharing. And next one, the best example of time sharing is if three processes can allocated to the system named as P1, P2, P3. If P1, each processes can have take the time 30 minutes, 40 minutes and 50 minutes respectively. If the processor P1 completes within 20 minutes, then the processor takes the next job of P2. But the allocated time is 30 minutes. But within the 20 minutes, if the process P1 has been finished, immediately the processor takes the next job of P2. If the P2 process is not complete within 40 minutes, the P2 process has been passed and the P3 process has been taken by the processor, because the allocated time for P2 is 40 minutes only. This is what known as time sharing. This division of time is called time sharing. The processor switches rapidly between the various processes after a time is elapsed or the process is completed. Within the stipulated time, within the given time or within the stipulated time, if the process is not completed by the system, immediately the current process is paused and the next process has been taken by the system. That is what known as time sharing. So next one is distributed operating system. The feature takes care of the data. This feature is nothing but the distributed operating system concept takes care of the data and application that are stored and processed on multiple physical locations across the world over the digital network. It is nothing, it is a simple concept. A single operating system is handled by different CPUs and the operating system has been put onto the network. on a single network, many many computer systems can handle a single operating system from different locations around the world. That is what known as here distributed operating system. The distributed operating system is used to access shared data and files that reside in any machine. Number of, CPU is the number of CPU is more, but the number of CPU is going to be use a single operating system on distributed or as a distributed operating system. That is what the concept of distributed operating system. The number of CPUs are going to be used many systems. The number of CPUs more than 1, 2, 3 or more than 10 or more than 100, that much of CPUs, central processing units, are going to be use a single operating system in a network. That is what called as distributed operating system. And the distributed operating system is used to access shared data and files that reside in any machine around the world. The machine may be wherever in the world. The user may be wherever in the world. From these two places, the distance is not a matter at all in distributed operating system. The distance is not a matter at all in distributed operating system. User can from one place, user from one place, and they are able to access the file and data stored within another machine from or around the world. That is what are known as distributed operating system. So next one is advantages of distributed operating system. What are the advantages are there while using distributed operating system? First advantage is a user at one location can make use of all the resources available at another location over the network. User can be one place and the machine can be in another place. From the different place, the user can access the stored data from the machine around the world. So next one is many computer resources can be added easily in the network. Many computer resources nothing but the resources are nothing but printer, photocopier, whatever may be, that the things may be added into the network easily. So next one is improve the interaction with the customers and clients. Because of the network, because of the systems are connected within the network, the interaction between the customer and clients may be easy. So next one is reduces the load on the host computers. Host computer is nothing but who are giving this opportunity to work distributed operating system. That particular system is known as host system. If all the users are using a single system, all the users are going to put their or store their data into a single system. At that time, heavy load into the heavy load may be stored into the or heavy data may be stored into the system. Because of the invention of a distributed operating system, the heavy load may be not happen here. So next one is prominent operating system. The many of the companies are providing different operating systems for different devices. Unix, Windows, Linux, iOS, Android. These are all the companies. These are all the operating system companies providing operating systems to the users. All the modern computer operating systems are GUI based, graphical user interface. Because of GUI, we are able to see the motion of mouse pointer and everything. Because of GUI, the user can create file folder by their own. If I already explained you, if the user interface is not user friendly, all the users maybe reduced their usage of computer minimized. And this is what a prominent operating system. And students, I hope you all understand this concept what I have taught today. The remaining concepts of the same lesson will be teach on next Thursday. And try to understand the concepts clearly. If you have any doubts, don't hesitate to ask me, don't hesitate to call me, because my number is there in their WhatsApp group. Thank you once again.